Welcome, Libra, to your full moon reading for February 26th, 2021, which finds the sidereal moon at Purnima in Leo and the sun in Aquarius. And this axis between the king and the collective, the commoner and the gentry, is very significant for us right now. And it helps if we look at it through the lens of what we hope to serve with passion, and whether we are in sync with our community groups, our culture. Is there a power struggle, or knowing yourself as spirit, are you able to share what you love freely and openly? We will get a signifier card and do a Celtic cross for you here with the animal medicine cards, Libra. It's a beautiful time to practice nonviolence. This is a foundational and purifying Vedic full moon in which we seek the inner teacher. Wolf, the great teacher of this particular card deck. And the wolf is the lover of truth. So this is really fitting for a lunation that's asking you to know your inner self, what you love, what gives you joy to give to others, what you serve with passion. And your inner truth, your personal knowledge, showing up as the first and signifying card in the deck, is a wonderful omen. You are covered by transmutation. I love that card. Taking the poison and turning it into the cure. It takes a special shaman to be able to hold snake medicine, because holding poison, of course, is very damaging to biological tissue. But if you are like Shiva, more in touch with your spiritual side, there's a sense in which the miraculous can happen to us, through us. And for those who are on the path of transformation, those who seek to know the unseen in the seen world, the snake card is powerful medicine to help us move clearly toward truth, which it looks like you're trying to, Libra. You are crossed by prayer and abundance. Perhaps you have been neglecting your relationship with spirit. Maybe your material world relationships are doing well, but your relationship to your soul needs some attention. It looks like prayer and abundance is an obstacle for you. And, if that's the case, it's sincere seeking that yields a peaceful heart. And, if you don't sincerely pray, if you don't believe that abundance comes from the unseen world, then that is your truth. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, in this particular reading, that could be an obstacle. So perhaps you should note it. Buffalo is also using our talents and the things that we're passionate about for the good of the whole. So it may be the case that you're a bit too focused on your own truth and not on what you could share with others. It's hard for all of us in lockdown right now, so I think that's an understandable thing. But it's always something that we could work toward changing. Living with what we can't currently change is what change looks like sometimes, and we have to be open to doing what we can when we can, and forgiving of ourselves. Your crowning card, the card that is guiding from above here, is Lizard, and this is about dreaming. It's about the shadow, the unconscious, the night visions that you get when you're not completely in your problem-solving logical faculty. The states of awareness that are less than fully awake and aware. These are the places where the invisible lives, right? And since your relationship with the invisible is kind of what's at question as you move through this transformation, it may be important to listen to your dreams, to remember dreams that you once had that you gave up, and to perhaps put some more energy into that invisible side of life. Oh my. The foundational card for you is the grouse. This is spiral dance, the sacred spiral, the ritual motion. It really seems like Spirit is trying to get your attention away from the material world right now and into the spiritual world, into the invisible world, whatever that means for you. If it's ancestry, if it's the occult in some way that I don't represent, if it's anything that has to do with the invisible world, the unseen world, the source where life comes to us from. This is your personal vision about it, whatever that means to you. And if you haven't taken the time to think about it, it could be a really good time to create a foundation about what you think life is about, what you think the material world comes from, how it comes to be. You know, the antidote for not knowing is looking within during this full moon. So you might want to spend some time with your thoughts. You might want to spend some time figuring out what that ritual motion, that personal vision of the sacred spiral is for you. You're moving away from fear, always a good direction to go, right? Rabbit is like a negative prayer. So, you know, maybe that's what the prayer and abundance card as an obstacle means for you. Perhaps your worry is calling in more difficulty than you really need at this point. I mean, we've all got plenty of it. It seems like a really rough evolutionary bottleneck to be getting through, but calling in negativity by remaining in fear is not the answer. It's definitely an emotion that you want to spend time letting move through, though. I think people try to push away their fears, and that doesn't really work. Sit with it, breathe through it, move through it, and let it have its moment and give you the information that it came to give you. And you'll find that it leaves. If you let it fully visit you, there will come a time and place when it does go. Emotions of all kinds are temporary, no matter what they are. Your love will not remain with you, and your hatred will not remain with you. And that is both the benefit and the ache of everything in the material world. This is how we know that there is a non-material world. This is how we know that there is an invisible world, because these things, these emotions, these objects come and go. You're moving toward magic. And Raven, this beautiful card, these are abundant in the area where I live. I get to see ravens a lot. It's what is in potential. And perhaps by not visiting this place inside yourself, this magical realm of potential, your consciousness hasn't been affected by it that much, but it looks like your unconscious has. It looks like your inner teacher is trying to take some poison that comes from a lack of interaction with the spirit realm and turn it and change it from fear into wonder. And that is a beautiful direction to be headed. So I feel like this is a really nice reading for your full moon. In this moment, you're the deer. This is the gentlest card in the deck, the number 4, the embodied caring card. You can't go wrong with that as your sincerity. You may have just kind of stumbled upon the invisible realm. You may not have ever seen this place in your life before. All kinds of new things are coming into awareness now. Places we've never been, rivers that never flowed before. And the deer with its gentle, open heart is a beautiful guide for a teacher that's transmuting, that's moving through. All around you is skunk. This is reputation. This is the projection of self-respect, right? This is a collective maybe that hasn't been very respectful to you, and it's possible that you haven't really respected the invisible side of yourself. You haven't respected your own spirit. And when your fear body is not your friend, it stinks. It's not a good time. So skunk can show up that way for us. Skunk can also just show up to say that the outside circumstances of your life right now are teaching you self-respect. And maybe you have a gentle heart, and maybe you're in situations that are not really respecting you, and you have to turn that around and change that dynamic, transmuting that poison with the powerful ally that spirit and magic are, and the unconscious and your shadow is offering you a different way of looking at things. You hope and fear stealth. The weasel, number 33, this is special medicine. The weasel is quiet and keen observation. It looks like maybe with this reading, you're hoping what you have observed is not true. You're hoping that the difficulty that may be around you right now, the lack of respect for who you are and what your spirit is, you're hoping that might not be the case. But I think if you're honest with yourself, and if you're in your teacher and out of your fear, out of that fearful ego, right? You know that the invisible messages are true. You know that's what your intuition is, what's coming to you magically, what's coming to you from the invisible realm, what comes from the ritual movement is real. And weasel is definitely one who gathers from invisible realms, from places that are hard to get to can, spy for the side of right, can go into small areas and pick up information that we maybe haven't been able to see, but our unconscious knows them, and the unseen realm knows what they are. The teacher knows how to transmute the poison. The fear, however, may prevent us from moving into an abundant, ritualized spiral movement that ascends. So you may hope and fear that your keen observations are true or are not true, but in the end, the spider and fate is pulling you forward. It's weaving an alphabet for you in Shakti, creativity. Maybe you don't live in that world, that world of inspired power, in serving with passion, giving from overflow. But that's what the invisible world offers, is enoughness. It offers a way out of the tyranny of things, right? The web that a spider weaves is dazzling and gorgeous and fulfilling, and it brings the things to it that it needs in order to eat and in order to live. But in a moment, it can be gone. All things of the material world are temporary like that. Spider is also responsible for the original alphabet in a lot of Native American lore, and was the one who taught us to make symbol and to understand that a thing is only representative of the energy that is behind it. The energy of spider is weaving that fate, that creativity, and it definitely looks, Libra, like something like that is coming to retrieve you from a soulless state. It looks like you're moving into a more magical, liminal, beautiful world that has enough room for your gentleness, your compassion, your love, and your keen seeing. What underlies the entire reading is loyalty. And the dog card is one of my favorites. It's absolutely beautiful. Do I say that about all the cards? I feel like I love them all because they're animals. But this is about clear duty. And it is, as we said at the beginning of the reading, I think it is for all of us right now. This is about finding our way to serve and how to be passionate about the service we provide, learning to embody the joy of giving and sharing what we love to oneness, knowing that what we give out is what we give to ourselves. The only cure for lost love is to give love. And it looks like you may be experiencing some sort of, loss of spirit, loss of maybe even abundance here that has you shook a little. I think, however, what Spirit wants to show up as in this reading is supportive of your forward movement, weaving together a new future for you out of caring and observation, keenness, astute understanding, and foundational purity and awareness. Be loyal to yourself and find a way to loyally serve your Dharma. I think you'll be happy with the results of that, Libra, and I'm really hoping for all of us that we find our way forward in this full moon with its light cast on Leo and its opposition to Aquarius, so that we can, I cannot get the cursor to come over to the side of this, I'm sorry. I really appreciate your time and your attention. As I try to work this out, thank you. I thank you. Thank you so very much. There. Oh, for the love of Pete.